This is the time of year when college-bound seniors hear if they've been accepted to the schools they've applied to. And while many of them celebrate their bright futures, some will be in for a rude awakening as they learn their identities have been stolen. I-Team investigator John Barr joining us now to explain. John, this is alarming.
Yeah, Michelle, colleges and universities are under digital attack like never before. Cyber crooks are stealing identities and using them to enroll in schools, in some cases securing thousands of dollars in financial aid. Once enrolled, they then disappear. It's a multi-million-dollar scam run by what investigators and schools are calling ghost students. Murat Mayer knew something was wrong last fall when he and his son struggled to create an account on the federal financial aid website. The two soon discovered someone had beaten them to it.
On top of everything, my son is looking like a student at this community college in Utah.
So somebody had already created an account?
Correct, and it's stretching back to 2024. In my son's account, the address is a house for sale in the middle of desert in Utah.
So somebody stole your son's identity and established his residency as being in Utah?
Utah, correct.
The fraudsters didn't succeed in getting a student loan, but they tried. When you found out your identity was stolen, what was going through your mind?
It's devastating. You cannot sleep at night until you understand what's going on.
Ghost students who apply for student loans with stolen identities have cost taxpayers at least $350 million over the past 5 years, as the Department of Education's Jason Williams recently told ABC News.
As you're stealing identities, these loans are not being repaid. They're being assigned to people. They don't even know they have a debt with the U.S. Department of Education. Or you get some letter from the department or the servicer or the Internal Revenue Service that says you owe the Department of Education money for something you don't even know about.
This person wakes up and now they have $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 in loans on their name, and they've never even been to this college or in this state where the college exists.
NFL veteran Maurice Simpkins now works as a technology consultant in Georgia. 3 years ago, he and his wife launched a fraud detection software platform called SAFE that's now being used by more than 150 schools nationwide. How does the fraud work?
They'll have my name, my address, my social security number that they've stolen off the dark web through some data breach, my email or phone number that is real, but then the one piece of information that they control, that will be the one that's not real.
Simpkins told the I-Team about one West Coast school that identified 60,000 fraudulent applications in the month of January alone.
We're talking a school that usually uses 80,000 on average, having 60,000 fraudulent applications in a 30-day period. That was unheard of, but what we've seen at this institution would have crippled that school.
Back in the olden days, 8 years ago, we were probably getting 2,000 fake applications a month.
Closer to home, the Virginia Community College system has worked hard in recent years to weed out fraudulent applications. Heather Sorrell is in charge of admissions for the 23 schools in the system.
It used to be roughly about 15% of our applications incoming were identified as fraudulent. Now we're at 0.2%, so 0.2, less than 1%.
For their part, the mayors were lucky. No debts racked up by criminals. Murat's son was able to get a clean academic slate, and Murat secured his own identity. How has this experience changed the way you think?
We're double-checking everything twice before even opening emails.
Fraudsters are going to be opportunistic. Once they realize that they're spending too much time here and it's not a win for them, hopefully they go to some other industry away from the world of higher education.
The Department of Education's Inspector General tells ABC News that it currently has 200 active investigations into this type of fraud, most of which originates overseas. And Scott, we're told this scam really took hold during the pandemic when students started studying online like never before. The fraudsters saw an opening.
It's wild. I mean, I'll admit, I'd never even heard about this problem until this report. Interesting, though, as you pointed out, it sounds like they've had quite a substantial drop in this type of fraud, at least in Virginia's community college system. So how did they get a handle on it?
Well, they did a lot of things, some of which they don't want to tell us about. But one of the things they did tell us about is they have a new identification verification system where you have to submit a state-issued ID, a picture of it front and back, and then take a selfie. They then work with a third-party vendor who runs the selfie, compares it to the state-issued ID, and if it's a match, then that's just one more step in identifying that they are in fact dealing with the actual person applying.
So important to figure out. Glad they're on top of it, or at least reacting now.
Absolutely.
Great story, John.
They brought it down big time.
Yeah, really good report.